Yeah, hello everyone. I am Mari from Estonia, and my myth is rainforest can be seen as climate win. I have encountered this myth in the project Waterlands, that is a massive Europe-wide wetland restoration project that in Estonia aims to restore also several thousands of hectares of wetlands, of peatlands, including 1,800 hectares of wet forests. And maybe to understand the myth better, it is good to know that there is already quite a harsh opposition towards restoring wet forests going on. And there is also a general dispute about the forest future and peatland future in Estonia that is quite hot. So what is the thinking thread behind the myth? Well, it starts with the idea that drainage make forest grow faster. Then the faster growing forest binds more carbon, then jumps in the logging cycle. Now we can remove the carbon and hold it long term in wooden products. And in the meanwhile, in the logged forest land, the new forest can start to grow and bind more carbon. Who is carrying that myth? The bearers usually have forestry background, and the myth is also quite easily engaged by rural people. The channels of the myth are very much varying from all kinds of media campaigns, as you can see from here, up to memos, conversations, public meetings, etc., etc. In my opinion, the myth is viral because it can be seen when looked in a certain angle. It can be seen very logical that faster growing forest might be rainforest might be a climate benefit. It is also wicked, partly for the same reason, because when you look short-term perspective, it can be true. And it is also very powerful because it is viral, it is easily engaged, and it can actively hinder the ecological restoration that is much needed. Its power also lies in the fact that this is intergenerational. Already several generations in Estonia have put their life's work into making drainage work. It is emotional, it is carried on with very loaded phrases, like it is restoration as such is a malicious lie. And it is also cultural, because from the slide you see some core texts of Estonian cultural identity, and the drainage is there. So what can we say when we want to debunk it? Wet forests store massive amount of carbon, wet forest soils. And we know that undrained forest soils are long-term carbon sink, slowly but steadily. We also know that drained forests emit a lot of carbon dioxide. Therefore, we can conclude that faster forest growth is nullified by the soil emissions and by the logging. And unfortunately, I don't have time to go into this graph in needed detail, so you just have to believe me. When I say that here are the management types of wet forests in relation to carbon stock over 300 years period, and the only ways to increase or keep the carbon stock steady is either to keep the wet forest in pristine condition or to revet it. All the other types of forest management result in the loss of carbon. So even though during the growth phase, the rainforest might bind carbon faster, the imaginary climate wind is nullified by soil emission and logging cycle. So instead of draining, it is crucial to preserve the large carbon stock in the wet forests. It's not so much about the fast bind, but rather preserving the additional emissions. And we know also that rewetting quickly stops the peat decomposition. Therefore, it is safe to say that preserving and rewetting drained forests is a climate win.